Before I even start with the review, there's something I've wanted to point out for a while now, and that's the quality of Project H books. They're surprisingly well made, actually.
This ain't no late Tokyo Pop release where they're so wiggly made it feels like it'll tear just by touching it. More like the Viz Media or Del Rey manga title releases, just to give you some examples.
Anyway, now that that's done, let's take a look into Taste Better with Cream by Hibari Ray.
When first looking at the cover, I really didn't know what to expect. Taste Better with Cream? Are they referring to pie? Of course I'm joking. Taste Better with Cream happens to be another anthology manga, so instead of my normal talking about a few stories a little bit, I'm going to go over the manga as a whole without going into much detail about each story.
Okay, now I've wasted enough of your time. Let's officially get this review started.
Well, honestly, with the art, there really isn't much to say. It's pretty much your average style. Though it looks a lot like most hentai you find, it still has somewhat of a unique feel. It's odd. Maybe it's just me that sees this. For the most part, at least, the art is consistent throughout the whole book and doesn't change much. I guess there's no O grade here today. A minor complaint I have is some of the figures seem stiff in some panels, though this again could be only me noticing. And also the artist's perspective is somewhat off. That's really all there is to say about the art. As for the stories in this book, a majority seem to be based on hidden love or withholding one's true feelings as the beginning of the story starts, then later on with them confessing their true love for each other. It's a simple plan that's used quite often, and it works. So if you like romance and revealing of a couple's love for one another, I'm sure you'd like this book. Though not every story is like this, as one story has pretty much the opposite of love, and that's a cheating wife. Now, it's not Netowari by any means, but rather a case of a cheating wife, and even still, it's not really that hardcore or bad. Another story that caught my attention was the first one, Telepathic Lust. It's actually a plot point I personally haven't seen before out of the hundreds of hentai I've read, so it was like a breath of fresh air, as it is based on a set of twin sisters, though rather than falling for the same guy turning into a three-way plot, which is most often seen, this one has it where they are telepathically linked, meaning one feels what the other feels. So if one's having sex, the other feels it as well. And the author uses this in some pretty predictable and rather unique ways. This was probably my favorite story. So in all, the 11 stories in this anthology are fairly good, though not all equal, as some are generic cookie-cutter stories, as well as some plots that never get old, and even possibly some new things brought to the table.
Overall, I personally enjoyed the stories, and this coming from a Netowari fan, so I'm sure someone more into romance would enjoy them a lot more. So was Taste Better with Cream a bag full of completely different and compelling stories, or your generic hentai with rinse, lather, and repeat stories? And the answer to that is probably both, with a mixture of new and overused story plots, overall average art, and characters having decent development in most of the stories.
After the owls from Jupiter pay me a visit and giving the hentai a read-through, they agree an average score of 5 out of 10. Meaning though it wasn't terrible by any means, it was still wrote out well and has good standings as an Anthology H manga. Now, as something new I'm going to start doing, I'm including a list of tags with the contents of what this hentai has to offer, so you'll have a better idea beforehand if you'd enjoy this title or not. So until next time, don't go blind.